This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Always happy to tell you that this show is brought to you by The Butcher Shop, purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9+ briskets, and as always, they are handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years, and every week they're shipping out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams that use The Butcher Shop win, and they win often. And even if you're not a competitor, you deserve the finer cuts in life. Great news. The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the backyard. The Butcher Shop also has life-changing Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, they're going to hand pick it out just for you. They have the best competition briskets. They have the best pork selection. They're giving you better overall options to cook at home. So give the Butcher Shop a call today. 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You mentioned the BBQ Central Show. They're going to give you 10% off your entire order each and every single time you call. You also can head on over there to Facebook and check them out. Facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled SHOPPE in case you didn't know. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvara 9+ briskets. And again, we're taking a jump back to 2010. Greg's going to talk to the folks from 3 Years Hollow.
Yeah, I know, a little extended intro segment with actual lyrics this time, and that's because I have the lead singer and the lead guitarist of my favorite new band ever and the unofficial band of the BBQ Central Radio Show. It's Jose Urquiza and Tony Reeves. Guys, thanks for coming on the show tonight. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. Again, certainly appreciate you making time out to do this. Probably, it's probably not an unsafe bet to venture that this probably isn't typically the audience that you're coming on to do interviews for, so I certainly appreciate you making the time to do it. So, guys, why don't we go ahead and just get a little brief background about yourself, and Jose, we'll start with you first since you're the front man. You know, when did you get into the music, and when did you actually start looking at getting into a band?
Actually, it was when I was a senior in high school. And by the time I was, a senior, I'd already been in about 5 different bands, and by that time I just wanted something that I could dedicate everything to. So I put out a little an ad, basically looking for a guitarist, and that's how I met Tony. And we've basically been together for the past 7 years, I think, right, Tony?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been writing.
How long, Tony, have you been playing music? Has it been pretty much all your life, or didn't you wait a little bit longer to actually get into it more passionately?
No, I've actually, I think now I've been playing music more of my life than how do I word it? More than half of my life. I think I started when I was about 12, and just went from there. I just picked up any instrument I could, and did whatever I could with it, just to make it sound decent.
Now, the band is home-based out of Quad Cities, Illinois?
Yep.
And for the people... Go ahead, Jose. I'm sorry about that.
There's about 4 different cities that make up the Quad Cities, 2 on each side of the river, 2 in Illinois, 2 in Iowa, and we're all from actually, one city apiece, just kind of come together.
All right, so growing up, Jose, I mean, certainly I would imagine every one of us here in the audience and people that listen to this on podcast after the live show have always wanted to be in a rock band, and we've all had people that have kind of inspired us, whether it be singing on stage at some point, like some of us did in college, very badly, I might add, or in the shower, what have you. Who were your inspirations growing up, and who really motivated you to get into the music?
Tony, you want to take that?
For me, man, I grew up my dad used to listen to all the old 70s stuff, like Seeger and Bad Company, all that, and pretty much started from there. And of course, as the times go by, he grew up, became a teenager, got a little rebellious, started listening. I really got into the hair stuff, started me really getting interested in guitar, and I pretty much listen to just about anything if it sounds good now, and I take what I can from it, any inspiration, and I just love music. So as long as it's good to my ears, then I can deal with it.
What about you, Jose?
My background's actually completely different. This is gonna sound funny, but I'm a Mickey Mouse Club generation kid. I was listening to Boys to Men and Michael Jackson when I was young, so that's what I grew up on.
Nice.
And I didn't really start getting into the rock music until I heard a band called Seven Dust. I heard their first album, and I was probably about 16, and that totally changed my life forever. From then on, it's basically been bands like Seven Dust, Breaking Benjamin, those type bands that inspire me.
It's weird to go from Michael Jackson to Seven Dust, I think.
It's definitely crazy, yeah.
Now, and I would say, as somebody that fancies himself a thumbnail connoisseur of rock music, especially, I had my hardcore rap days from 88 to 92, but after I graduated high school, I got more and more into rock, especially when Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, Nirvana started coming out, getting on the scene. That's really when my love of rock kind of started to develop, and it's evolved over time. I'm a big Seven Dust fan, Mudvayne, all these guys, and you guys have similar qualities, what I would term a already accepted commercial quality to your sound. So when you guys get together, when you and Tony are together, we're talking with Jose Urquiza and Tony Reeves of the band 3 Years Hollow. 3yearshollow.com is a place to find them. Did it take you guys any type of time at all to figure out what your sound was going to be, or did you have to wait until you got most of the pieces in place until you were able to figure out what direction you wanted to go? What do you think, Jose?
We started off completely different than we are now. You're right. It went through a lot of phases. The lineup we have now, as far as 3 Years Hollow, actually has only been in existence for a couple of years, and that's really when our sound was defined, when everybody came together. But me and Tony, I would say, probably worked on music and honing our skills, and working on my voice for probably 5 years before we really knew what we wanted to do musically.
So when you guys released your first album, which was called Hollow, what revision of 3 Years Hollow was that, and was that a big expense for you guys to take on right off the bat, or was that something that you guys knew that you were going to have to do in order to start making your footprint in the world, Tony?
Do me a favor. Head over to the BBQCentralShow.com. Do it right now. Clink on the link in today's show notes. Click on the link in today's show notes. It's going to take you to this complete episode. Do me a favor and go check that out, would you? Appreciate it. You want me to do a show for you? Hey, send me an email. John at thebbqcentralshow.com. I'll see what I can put together for you. Happy to do it. And until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I can't wait to talk to you again soon.